Hey guys, what is going on? This is Travis. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel and welcome to Coffee, Computers, and More. And today I'm going to show you the basics of how to make a video using VideoPad Professional, which is a program that you can get from NCH software. Now, just in the nature of full disclosure, I am going to be showing you how to create this on a licensed copy that I purchased myself out of my own money. I've got no kickbacks for making this video from NCH, and this is just pretty much how I do it. Now, I've been using this software for about 4 years now. It's been pretty solid. I've used it on both the Macintosh and also, Mac computers and also Windows 10 machines too. They offer it on various platforms. What's cool about the software is you can try it out, I believe, for 7 days for free, and you can even create and export your first video before they ask you to get a paid license for it, which means you get a chance to try it before you buy it, which is really cool. And they don't require any payments up front that you have to unsubscribe from or cancel, which makes it even better. So today I'm going to show you just basically how to create a video, how to edit the video, just very, very simple features of the program. We're barely going to scrape the surface of what this program's capable of, but this is also something that's going to help absolute beginners. All right, now there's a couple things I can't walk you through, and that's going to be how to get the videos onto your computer, because all computers are different. If you're bringing it in via email or via a memory card, how you do that is going to pretty much be up to you. For me, my videos are all made just on a simple digital camcorder, and I just drag and drop the videos on my desktop, which is where my video clips are currently sitting, and that's basically where we're going to begin. So going off my desktop here, let's go ahead and open up the VideoPad video editor program, which you'll need to install yourself. You got to go through that whole process. It's actually not that difficult. It's a very simple program and doesn't take up a lot of space. Okay, now I also don't have the world's fastest laptop, so if there's any delays in processing, exporting, and stuff like that, I'm going to pause this video, let those features happen, and that'll cut out a lot of the delays that you're going to see in this video. So basically, here's what the interface for the program is going to look like when you get it. It can be a little bit daunting at first, especially if you have never used any kind of a video editor program before. And by the way, I'm not running this on full screen because I have to constantly pull stuff from the desktop, so that's why we're just running a little bit smaller screen today. So essentially, you've got this box on the left-hand side. This is where you can drag and drop your photos that you want to put in your video. This is where you drag and drop your video clips, and so on. You can bounce between audio files and images and videos and things like that. The right side is going to show you basically a running sample of your video as you're putting it together. Down on the bottom, now I'm using the deluxe version, which gives you, I think, 3 or 4 video tracks and 3 or 4 audio tracks. The copy that I'm using cost me about $75, and we can add more video tracks than what you see right here. Okay, so we have video track 1 and audio track 1. If you drag and drop a video on the timeline, they're pretty much going to go together. But again, I don't want to lose anybody on it, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's just go right into it. So first things first, once you've found your video clips and you know where they're at, go ahead and drag them in this box right here. So I'm just going to do this all in real time. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 video clips from a video that's already on my YouTube channel, but since I got the clips, I thought, well, it's kind of convenient just to go ahead and show you how I made the video anyway. So they're going to import. Now I'm just running this on just a fairly inexpensive HP laptop with a solid state drive, and it does run pretty good. So here's the 4 video clips that I filmed earlier with my camcorder, and these are what are going to basically create the video. Okay, and now I've also got a couple screenshots from a coffee website that I want to incorporate into this video too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and drop those in the same box, and what's cool about it is the program knows that they're images. It'll know if they're images or videos. It'll automatically split them up via the 2 different tabs that you see right here. Now, if you got a audio you want to play in the background, you can drop your song on there. And this program is very compatible with various audio and video forms. Okay, so video files, images, and so on. So the first thing we're going to do is go and take the first video clip that we want to put in the video, which is my introduction. We're going to drag and drop it down below, and it's going to import. Now this phase of the whole process can take some time, so I might just go ahead and pause it until the entire clip is imported, or we're going to go from there. So this is basically kind of a summary of the video on this top bar, and down below you've got the audio. Now if you need to zoom in the bottom right hand side, there's a minus and there's a plus, and that'll let you zoom in so you can see the finer points. So one thing I like to do initially is to cut out the dead space at the beginning of the video, where I'm basically sitting there, clearing my throat, starting the camera up, and so on. So all you have to do is take this little red slider, just pull it out of the way. We're not going to worry about that for now. And then go ahead and double click on the audio portion, and here you've got the audio from the video that the video clip that we just got done filming. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this little red slider down here on the bottom, and I'm going to pull it off to the right. So when you see the little palm up here, that is basically your little erase hand, is what you can call your little eraser bar, right? So we're going to drag and drop and stop right there, okay? Now what I've done is I've basically cut out that 5 seconds from the video itself, that dead space at the start of the video. Now if I want to put it back, I can just go ahead and grab the little slider and slide it back to the left, and it goes right back, okay? Now let's just say that there's a part of the video that you want to cut out, and let's just say you're like, oh, I just don't want that. I don't like how I said it. So go ahead and take the little slider and place it wherever you want to, okay? So I'm going to put it right here, and you see you've got some scissors that appear. Okay, all you have to do is click on this little tab right here, and that's going to put, click on the scissors, and that's going to put a little break in the video. Let's just say, oh, I don't want this 10 seconds of the video. I don't like what I said here, okay? So you just run your slider off to the right, and go ahead and press the scissors again. Now when it's done, you won't notice this when you're watching it, but it's basically divided up the video into different segments. You're like, yeah, I don't like what I say in that part of the video. So click on it so that it becomes highlighted, I guess you could say, or gray, right? And then press your delete button, or, okay, you can also go up to the top and touch the trash can up here, and that'll make this clip go away, okay? So we're going to push the delete button, boom, that section's gone, and it's all good to go. Now we're going to have a rough chop between these two different scenes. So there's a couple things I want to show you, all right? The first one is to have a nice like fade into the video where it goes from black into the video starting. Fade in and fade out, okay? So what you do is click on this little box in the top left corner on the timeline, click there. And then you want to set it for a 2-second fade in, which is what I do. And again, these are just my settings for the video. You can set this however you want to, okay? So we go ahead and set the fade in. So at the beginning of the video, it's going to start off black, and then it's going to fade into the start of the video, which looks really nice. Okay, now, between scenes, it can be really choppy. So we want to put some sort of a transition in between these two scenes so it looks really nice. It'll fade from one part to the other, okay? Now, by the way, if I need to do any editing down below, maybe I want to start this at a different point or delete some part of the beginning, you just click on the vocal track like we did before. You grab your slider, and that's going to take out whatever portion you don't want at the start of that clip. Okay, I'm just going to basically leave it as is, all right? Now, we're going to put a transition between clip number 1 and clip number 2. So I'm going to click on this little X box right here, okay, X box, that's funny. And then I like to just use Crossfade. It's very simple. It just kind of blends from one to the next, but you can do a dissolve, you can do a dissolve rough, whatever you want. You can even do random if you want to, where it'll pick a transition and just surprise you. Don't know why you do it, but they put it there. So we're going to do a crossfade. So we press on a crossfade. By the way, anytime you do any of these little edits, this can cause the clip to have to reload a few times until the clip is fully in the cache of the program. So you can see some delays when you do this, okay? Now, let's go ahead and drag from the back on the right-hand side. And what we're doing is we are getting rid of the dead space at the end of the video. And I want to do another transition out at the end of the video so it goes to black. So I click on Add Video Transition. I go back to Crossfade, and that's going to go black at the end of the video. But here's the deal. I've got a second clip, okay? So I want to put this second clip in the video. So down below, grab your slider and go ahead and slide over the timeline, okay? Don't forget over here, you can zoom in and zoom out if you want to. All right, so we're going to go ahead and drop the clip down here. Now the problem is now that we've added a new clip, it's going to delete the transition. Okay, so we'll put that transition back here in a second. Now see this little amount of dead space where nobody was talking? Okay, I want to get rid of that. So again, go ahead and grab this little red bracket, slide it over, and boom, that section is gone. Remember, you can always put it back if you find that you've over edited or cut too much out of it. Now we'll go ahead and click on that transition again and put the transition back in, that crossfade. And so if we click on the timeline, we can see how it's going to fade from one part to the next. So it looks really nice instead of being all choppy and so on, okay? Now, let's just say that I want to show something from a website, or I want to bring a picture in while I'm talking. Okay, maybe I want to show a picture of a family member or something, whatever, right? So click up on your images where you've got your pictures that you brought in the first place, and go ahead and drag that right down to the portion that says drag and drop your video, text, and image clips here to overlay. All right, so where that little slider is, a little red bar, that's where I want to drop the photo. So I drop the picture. Now, here's the thing. the program itself, and here's a slider to go up and down if you need to. The program itself is going to give priority to whatever track is sitting up on top. So if you're sitting here talking, boom, it's going to flash to the picture. Now, a problem that we have here is that there's some space on the top and the bottom, and I want to fill this whole area up. Okay, now this part, I tend to screw this up once in a while, so just forgive me. So first of all, let's have this picture come in nice and smooth. So we're going to click on Fade In. Okay, click on Set. We're going to have it fade out. Okay, click on Crossfade. Okay, now it's going to fade in and it's going to fade out. It's going to look really cool. See, there you go. And then it's going to fade out. Now, let's just say that I want this picture to last longer than what the computer gives me by default. All you got to do is click on the picture in your timeline and grab it, and there's a little arrow. You can extend out that picture as long as you want. You can have a 14-second duration or a 10-second duration. Let's just go 12 seconds, okay? So now if we drag back, we can see how long that's going to last. So the one thing I want to show you how to do here is how to make this fill up the entire screen so you don't have those bars on the top and the bottom. Now, if you use a big enough picture or a picture that has a high enough resolution, it'll fill the entire screen. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen at this point. So what we want to do is go up to Video Effects, and then we want to click on Motion. All right, and then you want to grab your slider that's called Scale and go ahead and slide. Now, this isn't going to show you any kind of a real preview up here what it's going to look like specifically, but if we move this little fancy box out of the way, we can slide over and we can see that the bar now takes up the entire screen. Now, this is a bigger percentage than what I'd really use, but just for simplicity's sake, I'm just trying to show you that that's how you fill that space, okay? All right, so now we can go ahead and click this box out of the way, and that box is going to disappear, so it's not bugging us anymore, okay? And we're going to go ahead and move on. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how do you do picture-in-picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my third video clip, and let's just say that I'm sitting here talking about how awesome this coffee is, and I want to show you this coffee brewing up, right, as I'm talking, okay? So what you do is go ahead and take that film clip that you have, that video footage you want to do picture-in-picture, and just drag and drop it in video track 2, which is the same timeline that we put the picture that I just showed you. Okay, so first of all, we want it to fade in, so click on the box in the top left corner, set. Okay, we're going to go ahead and grab the slider down here and go to the end of the clip. We're going to shorten this up a little bit because it's way too long. So grab it on the right side and slide. Okay, and that's going to shorten up the clip a little bit more. I'm going to have that clip go ahead and crossfade or fade out when I'm done with it. Now, the problem is that that clip is going to get priority over the video feed. So if you drag your bar, see what happens? I don't want that, okay? I want this little coffee scene to be maybe in the top right corner. So all you have to do is click on the video clip itself, go up to Video Effects, okay, click on Motion again, and at this point, we've got complete control over this clip. So first of all, we need to make it smaller, okay? So I'm just going to grab the portion of that little box that says Scale, and we're going to go ahead and scale it down. Now, you see right here, we've got these little broken bars, okay? This is basically how big your picture-in-picture video is going to be on the screen that everybody's watching. That's way too big, okay? So we're going to go ahead and shrink it down a little bit more. Let's just take it down to, oh, I don't know. Let's just go... let's go 42%, okay? Now, here's what's cool about it. You can actually grab that little box and put it wherever you want in the video itself. Okay, so I'm going to go put that in the top right corner. It still might cover up my face a little bit, but oh well, I'm not too worried about it, okay? Now, you can also manually control the position of this picture-in-picture video by grabbing these two sliders, the vertical and the horizontal, and you can determine what position, or like I said, you can simply grab it and hold on to it and put this wherever you want. So we're going to put it up in the top right corner. Now, go back down to your little production timeline where you've got this little red, slider, okay? Now watch what happens. Ta-da! And there is your video. Now, the circle and all these marks and everything, don't worry about them. They're not going to be there in the final video. But now we've got picture-in-picture. The problem with this is that this picture-in-picture video has audio that goes along with it, and that's something that we don't want, okay? I don't want this audio track to interrupt what I'm trying to say right here. So all you have to do is see that we drop this into video track 2, okay? This particular audio is in video track 2. We want to go ahead and mute the audio. So go down to audio track 2, which is in the bottom left-hand corner, and find the speaker and click on the speaker, okay? So this little box right here for audio track 2 goes along with video track number 2. So go ahead and click on the speaker, We're going to go ahead and mute that. Now you could turn it down as much or as little as you want. So maybe you want to have some music playing or whatever, you can do that. But I'm just going to go ahead and mute it and click on OK. So if we go back and actually watch the video, you're going to see the video, but you're not going to hear the audio, which is the best part. Okay. So again, those are some of the basic features that you need to know to do some picture-in-picture or to bring in a photo. If you do an MP3, you would just simply drop the audio up here and you'd have a separate audio line and you can modify it basically however you want. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and drag. All right, now again, don't forget you got these little sliders on the right-hand side and these allow you to see more or less of your production line. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab down here on the audio and slide to the left, and that's going to edit out the last 10 seconds of dead space in my video. Okay, there we go. And then I want my video to fade out at the end so it looks really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Crossfade. Obviously click on the little X like I mentioned before, and then click on Crossfade, and that's going to give you a nice fade out at the end of the video. Okay. Now, these little boxes that we have in the top left corner, just go ahead and click on them and they'll disappear so you don't have to worry about them. Now I do have another video clip right here and I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, I'm not going to take any time to do anything. And here's the thing, you've got a ton of options up here. Oh, one thing real quick, I suppose I should probably show this to you here. Let's go and drag back to the start of the video. We need to save this, okay, so we don't want to lose our running draft. I recommend you do this a couple times during the video just in case your computer would ever crash, okay? So you just go up to Save Project, and I'm going to go ahead and call this Coffee 2. Okay, now the file type is going to be a VideoPad project, so it's going to give you a draft that you can work from, so you can always click on the draft and open it up and go right back to work on the video if you want to. I'm going to save it to the desktop, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Okay, so that draft is actually going to be on my desktop, and I can click on it and open it if I want to. In fact, let's just try to find it. It is right here. It's called Coffee 2. So if I double click on this, this will automatically launch the program, and this will automatically bring all the videos back in as long as they're on the desktop. It's going to bring all the videos back into your running draft, and you can continue working on your video. Okay. Now, the last little feature that I want to show you before we go ahead and just close out this video and export it and get it ready to upload to YouTube is titles. Maybe you want to have some sort of text in your video. You want to have some sort of a title screen. Okay. So all you have to do is just determine the point that you want your title to show up, which I'm just going to go ahead and put mine at the very beginning. Go up to Add Title, and you've got many different types of titles that you can use. You can just keep them simple if you want to. I'm just going to do a simple text overlay. You can have them pop up like Star Wars style, 360. You can play around with all these and make them do whatever you want. Okay, I'm just going to do a simple text overlay. And then you get yourself a text box. So this is kind of like a Word document or like a text document. Let's just go ahead and call this Delicious Coffee. There we go. Okay. Now, if you double click on it, you can highlight all the words and you can choose your text color if you want to. You can change the color. That's up to you. I just use red because it shows up good on the basic color background that I use for my screen. You can go bold, indented, underlined. You choose your font size. Okay, I'm going to go maybe we'll just do like a 20. Okay. Now you can also do like a left justify, right justify, whatever you call it, line left, line right, center. And if I want to bring the text down a little bit, just kind of like a Word document, just go ahead and hit the Enter key or return, and that's going to move that title down. But I'm just going to go ahead and put this up at the top. Okay. So after you do that, all you have to do is just go ahead and click on the X, if I'm not mistaken, and your text is now right here. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see it better. Now, I like this title, but I want it to last longer on the screen, so you can grab it and drag it out. It'll have a duration of 4 seconds, okay, or 3 seconds, or 5 seconds, whatever you want. I'm going to go and just take it down to 3.5 seconds. Okay. Now, I don't want the title to just simply pop up on the screen. Okay, I want it to fade in and look nice. So click on the box in the top left corner, click on Set, okay, and your fade in is going to kick in. Go ahead and click on the top right box, okay, click on Crossfade, just like we've done with all the other clips. And now the title is going to fade in and it's going to fade out. So it looks really nice, okay? And again, this is just the absolute basics of what you want to do, okay? All right, now let's go ahead and finish up this video. So we're going to click on Save Project. Now what we want to do is we want to export it so that we can upload it onto YouTube, okay? So click on Export Video up here towards the top. click on video file, and there's a lot of stuff you can do. It does handle 4K, but I don't do anything in 4K just yet. But this program is basically 4K compatible, but you got to have the hardware and the space to go along with it, just as kind of a heads up. So go ahead and click on video file. The name of the file is coffee2. I've got a custom preset, but you can do whatever you want. If you do a YouTube 1080p HD and you filmed it with a 1080p camera, that's perfectly fine. I go with a custom setting. I honestly don't know why. I just have it set for that. The resolution, I just use auto match content. It's going to basically match itself up with the footage that you're feeding into it, which is a 1080p video feed. Again, this is stuff that you really don't have to worry about. File format, I do a .mp4. Widescreen fit letterbox, I click on this, but I really don't ever see the black bars. It just simply fills up the screen on YouTube when you're watching the video. Frame rate, I do variable smart max 60 frames per second, and that's because my camcorder films at 60 frames per second. You can choose that if you want. If your camera doesn't do 60 frames per second, it's really not a big deal because the program will adjust itself however it needs to. But you have a lot of options. You can go variable frame rate. You can do a constant 60. It's pretty much up to you. I just go variable smart max 60, and I've never had an issue. And then subtitle is overlay, whatever that means. Okay, now let's go ahead and create the file. So it's going to create the video. Now this part, depending on your computer, your video cards, your RAM, your processing speed, and so on, this portion could take quite a while. And so this is going to pretty much be up to the computer that you're running on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause while this exports, and then I'll say just a few things about the exported file, and we'll go from there. So I'll be right back in just a minute. Okay, so while the video finishes up here, real quick, there's just a couple things I want to say. So if you're a techie, just to kind of give you a heads up, the computer that I made this particular video on that you're watching it's an HP. It's got a 10th Gen Core i7 processor, Intel Iris Plus graphics, 8 gigs of, I think, DDR4 RAM, and a 256 gig solid state drive. So it's not a beastly computer by any stretch, but it does run pretty good. But I found on my old MacBook Air, I had a 2017 MacBook Air, the export time would take about double the length of the video. So if I did a 10-minute video, it would take 20 minutes to export the video and get it ready to go. Okay, so now once your video is done, okay, you've got what's called the export queue. So this is the finished video right here. What I like to do is I like to click on show in folder so I can see where the video actually is, okay? And the video is right, let's see here. Coffee2, there it is, it's right there. So I like to grab the video and drag and drop it to my desktop, which you can't see because that's off the actual frame. Okay, so it says the source and destination files are the same. That's because I have another video called Coffee2, which is perfectly fine. I'm just going to click on skip. But your video will end up on the desktop, and that's where it's going to be sitting. Okay, now from there, you upload it to YouTube, however you want to do it. I don't know if you're doing it on a mobile platform or if you're uploading the video, using your computer. That's pretty much up to you. I'm just here today to show you how to create the video and get it ready to go and go from there. Now, again, if you open up that draft that I showed you earlier, it'll bring you right back in here if you decide there's something that you want to change, okay? Otherwise, I think that pretty much sums it up. So go ahead and click on close. And the video is right here. I'm going to go ahead and close out the software. Now it's going to ask us if we want to save one more time. At least I think it will. And if, and real quick, I guess I should just show this. If you want to delete anything from the video, like let's just say this whole clip, I don't like it, you can click on the clip itself and then click on delete with a little garbage can up here, and that'll get rid of the video, or it'll get rid of the text if you don't want it, or it'll get rid of anything you want. So your little delete bar is under the home menu, which is right over here on the right hand side. Okay, so I'm going to go and click on the X to click out, and we're going to go ahead and save the project. So it's got a final draft that's saved, and then Coffee2 is right here on my desktop. If I double click on it, my video player is going to load. And my video is right there. Okay, so now it's all done and it's ready to be uploaded to YouTube. The nice thing is that it creates a more compact file than all the video that you drop into it, so it makes a nice MP4 that uploads quickly over on YouTube. Okay, so that is basically it. So why don't we go ahead and bring it back? Anyway, guys, if you have specific questions about the features on this program, you can ask them, but there's a pretty good chance that I haven't used those features. There's just a ton of features on here, and again, I just use it kind of for some of the bare bones features, but it does offer a lot of options for you, and I've never actually had the program crash on Windows or Mac before, so I think it's a good program. Again, I've been using it for 4 years, and I use purchased licensed copies, and I usually purchase one copy for every computer that I buy because you can't share your licenses between computers, just so you know. Otherwise, I think that's it. So if you go over to nchsoftware.com/videopad, it'll take you to the website, or just even nchsoftware.com, and click on VideoPad Video Editor, and you choose the platform that you want to run the program on, and you can do it. Okay. So otherwise, guys, that's it. This is Travis, and I want to thank you for watching this simple tutorial on coffee, computers, and more. If there's any part of this video that you need to watch, go ahead, please go back and rewatch it, check it out. Sometimes I talk a little bit quick, and hopefully you can see the video okay. But otherwise, I think that's it, guys. So if you like coffee, computers, and more like this tutorial, make sure you like and subscribe, and you can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Otherwise, I think that's about it. So I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe. Learn how to use that video editing program, get good at it, get your YouTube channel up and running, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.